Welcome to Dangerous Prototypes. I'm Ian. Today we're in San Mateo getting ready for the Bay Area Maker Faire. First we'll go in and set up our table, and then there's a party for makers afterwards. We've got our credentials, we've got our maker poster, and here's our table. And just like I said, it's an ugly brown wooden table. That's why the tablecloth is so important. Banners set up, table set up. Now we're going to check out some of the other booths, and then we're going to the party. This is Al with the Droidalyzer. It's a phone-based breathalyzer. Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Yeah, so it's an open source project, and this is the board here. So it's a breathalyzer. So we're talking Bluetooth to the phone, and I'm just going to tap on the phone, and then I blow on here, like that if I'd had some drinks, and then it's going to tell me how much I've had.
Something no maker should forget for their first Maker Faire.
Definitely bring your business cards. So you're going to meet a lot of people at Maker Faire, and it's always good to have a card on hand.
Do you have any advice for first-time presenters?
So get a lot of sleep. It's a long day.
After setup, all the makers come out here for a party. There's paella, free beer, and a chance to meet other makers. What's the best part about Maker Faire?
Seeing projects that you didn't think were possible, seeing things that you never would have thought of, and seeing things that you thought were too crazy to try, but people are actually doing them.
What should a first-time maker bring to Maker Faire?
A friend to cover their booth so they can see other things. It's really, really hard for first-time makers to get away and see things.
We're with Buddy. We're with Chumby.
Hello.
What should a first-time maker know about Maker Faire?
It's going to be a lot of people, and it's very crazy, very hectic, but just stay calm, don't panic, it'll all be okay.
And what should they bring?
Bring some power strips, your own screwdrivers, and basically your favorite toolkit of stuff.
What's your favorite part about Maker Faire?
Free beer.
We're here with Star. We met her at the Shenzhen Maker Faire. What's your favorite part about Maker Faire?
My favorite part about Maker Faire is all the completely ridiculous stuff you get to see.
And what should every first-time maker bring to Maker Faire?
Water, chocolate, and sunscreen.
Do you have any advice for first-time makers?
Rocket full throttle.
We're here with Scott. He made the Digigrid. You saw it on the blog a few weeks ago. We were lucky enough to get him to come here and show it at the table with us. Scott, can you tell us a little bit about the Digigrid?
What I've got is a large array of 7-segment displays that displays sort of pretty pictures. Behind it is a FPGA that is connected to my computer via RS-232 serial link, and it's sending information from my computer to the FPGA, which is then blasting out the bits to a bunch of Texas Instruments controllers that are controlling each row of the display.
We're here with Kenneth, PCB builder extraordinaire. You're manning the TI booth this time. Okay, so what advice do you have for a first-time Maker Faire attendee?
Pace yourself. Is a lot of people are like, yeah, like I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna go for 2 days, and 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday they're like, and they start losing it, and you can't go the whole time. So it's one of those things. You work out shifts. Somebody takes the first hour off. You come back and you can get relief later. There is 100,000 people here, and it is really hard.
And what's your favorite part about Maker Faire?
Just the huge amount of ideas. It's almost impossible to talk to anyone and not get an idea for something. You're talking to someone else, and you mention something that you're doing with something, and they'll be like, hey, how about you do this instead? And it's just an exponential amount of ideas here. Everyone's going off of everyone else, and where there would be 10 ideas, there's now 100. It's absolutely phenomenal.
A Nintendo portable that I made. It's a 3D printed case. It's got about 10 hours battery life. It uses a PlayStation 1 5-inch screen and a Nintendo top loader for the PCB, so it's nice and compact. And it uses full-size Nintendo cartridges.
It's day 2, the crowd's about to start pouring in. Day 1 we went through almost 1 seed box of business cards. I think we'll have a few left over, but I wouldn't have brought any fewer. We're about to run out of stickers though.
I think I'm going to spend the evening playing with some Arduino stuff.
We met up with Chris Gamble from Amp Hour Radio Show. He's been walking around the Maker Faire for 2 days now. So Chris, what's your favorite part about Maker Faire?
I liked, actually the art. The art was something
something I don't really get a lot of exposure to. So a lot of the art exhibits were something that really surprised me, actually. There was one that was like an entire city made out of tape. That was amazing.
What should people bring when they come to Maker Faire?
So I heard that my nose is getting a little red. I think sunscreen is a big one. Comfy shoes. Willingness to take it easy on yourself. We didn't really do that.
And you gave a presentation this year. Can you just tell us a little bit about what your presentation was about?
I gave a presentation on documentation, so obviously we're doing that right now. It was kind of just about why it's important, how to do it a little bit.
Will you come again next year?
Yeah, if I can, definitely. Yeah. I'd love to have a booth next year. I mean, I think booth is a totally different experience.
Yeah.
But I think you get a lot more. I was kind of walking around talking to a lot of people that I already knew. It was harder to meet people I didn't know, and I feel like booth is a good way to meet the people you don't already know.
And this is my little badge for Maker Faire. And it does the logos for the Portland Robotics, and it's a totally over-engineered thing. It's got a ARM Cortex M3 on it, and it's actually just reading images from the micro SD card.
So this is Scott's very first time working a booth at Maker Faire. What's your favorite part about Maker Faire?
You know, the greatest thing is to have my project here and have all these people flooding in who are interested in hearing about it, and they just love it. And I love to talk about it. And, you know, I've gotten new ideas, new feedback, and just a bunch of people who are really excited about it like I am, which is really cool.
What 3 things should people bring to Maker Faire?
Well, there's a flood of people coming in all day long who want to talk about your project with you. So I would say the 3 things you should bring are water, water, and water. Like, I didn't even have time to walk over to the drinking fountain because so many people wanted to talk.
What should new makers keep in mind when they come to the fair for the first time?
Well, you know, there's a lot of people and they're crowding around, and so your demo needs to be kind of short and sweet. It's a fairly, you know, short attention span kind of thing, just because there's so much to see, so much going on.
After 2 long days of Maker Faire, it's finally time to start packing up. We went through 2 giant boxes of business cards, we went through a box of stickers, and we stamped a whole bunch of Hackerspace passports. Okay, so it's the end of Maker Faire. Radio Shack just stopped by with a big box of extra parts. They're giving them away. We can't take them all home, but look, they gave us some flux, and we'll use it in our next flux off. Oh, well, thank you, Kenneth. We've got a capacitive touch booster pack, a launch pad, and probably the mother load, a Chronos watch. We're here at Harry's Hofbrau. This is where the Maker Faire after party is. The food's disgusting, but the people are super nice. Everybody brings a hack. Let's go inside and check them out. We're here with Sophie and the Texting Trapper. Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
This is an RF signal detector that detects the strength of your cell phone. It's meant to be a product for classrooms that a teacher would put on the middle of the table and detect when their students are texting during a test.
We're here with Jeff from Mighty O. He's built a Geiger counter. Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
This is a Geiger counter that I designed last year. I was going to a conference in Germany and I wanted a cool project to share, so I designed this Geiger counter. It's basically based around a Geiger-Müller tube, and it senses beta and gamma radiation. It's based on an Atmel AVR AT-Tiny 2313 microcontroller.
It's our pleasure to be here with Jeri Ellsworth and the C64 bass guitar. Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
So I wanted a mobile project so I could walk around Maker Faire and see all the other booths but show off a project. So I decided to take my new hobby of learning the bass guitar and combine it with the old Commodore 64. So my goal was to use the Commodore 64 sound chip and run all the audio through it, so the keys and the strings.
This year's Maker Faire was amazing. A huge thanks to everybody who made it possible, especially Scott for helping us man the booth. It wouldn't have been possible without him. A big thanks to Instructables, Macetech, and Jeri Ellsworth for organizing parties where we got to hang out with makers and get to know them better. A big thanks to everyone who came on the Taco Crawl or appeared in our film. If you missed this Maker Faire, we'll be back in New York in September and then Tokyo again in December. Tomorrow we'll have an extended version of the project interviews and a few that we left out from this film. And we'll be back next week with a normal workshop video. Most of all, thank you for watching. Now we're going to head over to Harry's Hofbrau, an awful restaurant that we hate that has the worst cafeteria food in the world to eat. One more. One more.
I've watched your videos, by the way, so it's kind of full circle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right on, man.
At the end of Maker Faire,